Until Dawn, the movie that can't quite decide if it's comedy or horror. Here's a quick look at the plot.
I guess we died again.
And that pretty much sums it up. Until Dawn is a type of Groundhog Day story about a mining town that sank underground due to the people digging directly under the community itself.
The dwarves delved too greedily and too deep.
But it left me with some nagging questions. Why did an accident, such as a mining town sinking into a hole of their own creation, result in a curse that forces the residents to die and respawn over and over? They might have done something stupid, but it doesn't sound like anyone was evil and deserved to be punished eternally. Well, except Dr. Hill, of course, because he was nuts and really just wanted to torture and frighten people. Why does each redo make a person gradually turn into a wendigo? Aren't wendigos supposed to come from cannibalism? How does the Mad Doctor, who is the antagonist of this film, exist both within and without the curse at the same time? We see him at the gas station before the kids go to the cursed area, and then he appears to be a part of the town as well. He would have to be part of the curse, if you think about it, because otherwise the creatures would want to tear him up too. If every other supernatural thing is limited to the cursed area, why isn't Dr. Hill? What kind of curse is this anyway? This story contains a chaotic mishmash of the supernatural. Then it references the original game towards the end by showing us snowy scenes from the surveillance cameras. But the game's story only had one kind of supernatural element, the wendigos. Other than that, it was a pretty grounded story. In the movie, Dr. Hill tells Clover that everything in the cursed town is inspired by her fears. The problem I see with that is, why did other normal people previously turn into wendigos if this is all just supposed to be about Clover's personal fears? Why didn't the game, which apparently shares the same location, have the same thing motivating the terror? We saw Joshua's picture and file on the doctor's desk, but in the game there was no indication that the scenario was created from Joshua's fears, or any other characters for that matter. By the end, we still don't know what the real deal is with this hellish location. The only explanation is simply that it is cursed.
What is it with you and curses? This is cursed. That is cursed.
Don't get me wrong, this movie is fun to watch. I just also happen to enjoy picking the entertainment apart and looking at the details to see if it makes sense. As enjoyable as it is, once I took a closer look, I realized that Until Dawn is held together by spit and bubblegum. So without further ado, here are
The plot holes.
The name of the cursed town is Glore Valley. Get it? Melanie claws her way up through a claustrophobic tunnel with a wendigo grasping at her ankles trying to drag her back down. Then, after narrowly escaping death, she decides to rest like 2 feet away from the exit hole. Sure hope the wendigo doesn't decide to just reach out or something. Where have I heard this theme music before? Oh yeah, that's right. The teenagers all sit and laugh about Megan's dad and Max's mom having an affair together, and to me, this conversation just landed weird. Somehow, I doubt something as devastating as cheating spouses would result in the kids of those spouses hanging out together and laughing about the affair as if it was just something silly. Family crises always hit hard, and definitely will impact the kids. This part really didn't help me to buy into the fantasy, it didn't relate to anything else in the story, and it made it more difficult for me to take these characters seriously. Clover sees the sign-in book, and one of her tears lands on the page. But the camera goes back to her, and Clover's eyes aren't red or teared up. Wait, hold on. Are they serious with this sound effect? I'm pretty sure dead bodies don't grunt when they hit the floor. Look at that face. That's a pretty darn dead face. And yet, when the two halves of his body hit the carpet...
That was air escaping from the folds of his fat.
Nina and Abe get taken out by the masked killer over and over. But the narrative had established that each night was supposed to hold a different kind of terror. At first glance, this wall with their photos suddenly appearing is a neat storytelling tool. It creates suspense. Nina, Abe, Clover, Megan, Max? Wait, why is Max making Instagram model face? Oh yeah, that's right. Max exerts all his strength to open this bear trap and fails, But 2 seconds later, the Melanie monster appears, and suddenly, Max is Popeye the Sailor Man. When did he sneak in that can of spinach? In one of the videos found on Abe's cell phone, we see Max failing in an attempt to kill one of the wendigos, despite stabbing it in the head multiple times.
Well, you tried and failed, but at least you tried and failed.
Then, later on, Clover kills one just by making it fall onto a spike once. Abe and Nina try to abandon their friends and drive off, only to be stopped by the sight of a giant monster that blocks the dark road ahead of them. If the wendigos are just people that develop slowly into monsters after succumbing to cannibalism, or in this story's case, the darkness, where did this thing come from? The only reason the kids escape is because Clover defeats Dr. Hill by slipping some of the local explodey water into the good doctor's coffee. Here's the snag. How could Dr. Hill have coffee in the first place if he wasn't already using the local water? Nothing in his office looks like it came from somewhere else. The water had to be from Glore Valley too. So, Clover defeated Dr. Hill by making him drink more of the water that he was already drinking? I call huge, wide plot hole shenanigans on this one.
Guilty!
But again, there are lots of good things that can be enjoyed here too. Allow me to give a few. Kicking the creepy clown doll that appeared out of nowhere. Nina looking for the light switch and not realizing she's feeling blood on the wall. It let the audience know what was about to happen without taking away from the tension of the moment. Clover is given some bad oxygen by an evil crone, and just as she breaks bad and we wonder what devilishly evil thing she's gonna do first, she gets hit by a car. Points to the crone though for creativity with their possession. Nina looks down the dark, scary underground tunnel entrance and simply says,
"No, thank you."
Abe misremembers the name of the song Wonderwall.
A water wall. That sounds made up as hell. That's what the song is from.
The group holes up in the bathroom, a smaller, contained space where they can keep the entrances blocked. Before the story went here, I thought of this exact strategy, just as many of you probably did. So, when I saw them actually try to survive this way, I thought, cool, they're actually doing something logical. After they got taken out by Pop Pop Fizzle Water, honestly, I think they should have just tried this method again, just without drinking anything this time. The spontaneous combustions were, of course, gory and gross, but nonetheless funny. Abe starts to grow spines, and the group pretends nothing is happening.
You look fine.
Are you sure? I feel like there's something back there.
Clover's face worm was icky, but still amusing.
Destroy it!
We get to see Peter Stormare reprising his role as Dr. Hill, and we also see a short reference to Joshua from the original game on the doctor's desk.
And tie 'em up if they just wiggle around.
Gosh, dude!
Sleep over. Can we order pizza?
These two familiar faces, together with the surveillance screens, switching to scenes of a cabin in a snowy wooded background, are the only references that tie this movie to the original game. These references are, however, the only hint we get as to why the movie differs so much from the game. In the game, the only supernatural element was how people underwent a change from normal human beings into wendigos as a result of cannibalism. In this 2025 movie, however, there's a chaotic mess of supernatural things all coexisting at the same time. Why? We don't know exactly. We're only given a vague explanation that the town is cursed.
This is cursed. That is cursed.
So it seems that for the moment, we won't get a satisfying answer as to what is really going on in the big picture. We only know that this location changes appearance, changes the rules of engagement, and always tries to kill visitors. And I can't end this video without drawing your attention to the fact that someone in the writers group really didn't like the Megan character. Let me demonstrate this in a little section I've entitled,
Megan gets destroyed.
Max mocks Megan's psychic and spiritual beliefs.
Not your woo-woo kind of ritual.
Nina mocks Megan's psychic abilities.
Your biggest psychic achievement was when you sensed that your dad was having an affair with Max's mom before anybody else. I was right.
The masked killer slams Megan's head into the floor over and over to kill her the first time she dies. Also, side note, Clover waits until Megan is dead before she takes a stab at saving her friend. I'm helping. Megan gets possessed by an entity that is never explained and gets her bones broken and body horribly twisted. Megan was the first to get a really bad side effect. We see her looking in the mirror and removing a piece of her own skull. Nobody else had that going on. While Megan's psychic sensibilities are at first mocked, then validated, we later see Megan demonstrating her superior psychic perception by sensing Dr. Hill's location. She does this by raising her finger in the air and pointing at the desk that was literally right in front of her. I mean, come on, writers. This was just lazy. This scene just demands some sarcastic memes. Whereas the nitroglycerin water makes all her friends completely explode all at once, Megan's water death is as slow and torturous as possible. First the leg, then the belly, and finally, her head. Ugh, gross. Megan falls through a glass ceiling and gets dragged off by a wendigo. Megan gets kidnapped by Dr. Hill and is slowly tortured by being forced to sit directly in front of a wendigo that is chained but only inches away, and the monster is slowly breaking free and wants to eat her. My conclusion is that somewhere out there in the real world, there is a lady named Megan who broke a Hollywood writer's heart, and he is letting us know it. Very, very subtly.